UFC 264 reached its final conclusion Saturday night as Dustin Poirier secured the victory in his rubber match against Conor McGregor. The card itself delivered throughout the night with some great performances and one of the most energetic crowds in recent memory. But is there more than meets the eye to this tale that concluded with a devastating injury to the notorious one? Well, I've been through the tape and I'm ready to break it down, so join me now as we do just that in this episode of Balian's Breakdown. Okay, let's talk about UFC 264. Poor Conor, man. I mean, this sucks. A big injury for him at this stage in his career. It could be the end of the line. But aside from that, you cannot take away from the performance of Dustin Poirier, who looked phenomenal. Now, I've been through the footage of the fight. I'm going to pick out some key points and moments and start to break things down for you guys so we can get an understanding of what Poirier did right and where Conor went wrong. So the keys to victory for Poirier in this one, well, they were pretty simple. Number one, keep his head off the center line to avoid those straight punches. Number two, don't allow Conor to push you to the back of the cage and don't allow him to control the center. And number three, move forward to negate the McGregor head movement and defense. So with that being said, let's jump into the footage. Right, so first of all, we're going to take a look at the leg kicks that Conor McGregor landed and see if he did indeed do himself an injury with them. This is the first one. As you can see, the first one lands with the top part of the foot. Now, this is a much more karate style thing to do. Also, it comes a lot from the point fighting sports because obviously if you can catch your opponent on the end of your foot, you still score points as opposed to the shin where you have to be closer, but it's a much stronger part of your body and does a lot more damage. He's kicking the knee, first of all, not the calf, or he's trying to hit the thigh, but it's come down to the knee, around the back, top of the foot. If you catch a kick right on the top of the foot, unless you kick something pretty pointy and hard in your opponent, it'll hurt a bit, maybe if you catch an elbow or something, but it doesn't tend to do damage to, that core ankle part of your body here at the joint. Right here, this is on the top of the foot. It's possible that the impact did bang the top of the foot and wrap it around, but this isn't great technique for a leg kick. Again, that being said, I'm not saying he doesn't know how to throw a leg kick, but this one didn't land perfectly for him. On to the second one, very much the same thing. This one definitely is on the knee, and this is the one that Poirier said that he checked, which he kind of did. He did pick his leg up and turn it out a bit, but it was more the placement of McGregor. And this is the kick that Poirier thinks he hurt his foot on. A pre-existing injury, yes, it could have been, but that's definitely a kick that if there is a microfracture, that's going to aggravate it. Okay, so now we're going to get into the first key to victory for Dustin. Keeping your head off that center line, you'll see right here, Dustin paws with the lead hand, so does Conor. Steps through with the front foot. Plants, loads up, and instead of throwing a straight punch, Dustin comes around the side with the left hook. Now, Conor's great at slipping, but you can't really slip hooks. You have to roll underneath, you have to duck, because if you slip, you're more than likely going to slip right into it. So Dustin adjusts, throws the hook this time, but Conor throws that straight left. Dustin's head off the center line beautifully, gets right to the outside of it, and bam, comes around the side with his beautiful left hook. You can tell he trained that endlessly on the pads. So crash right on the chin, and Conor goes recoiling backwards. Dustin almost lands his lead hook to follow up as well, but he knows he caught him on that one. Okay, so we can even call the second key to victory here as well. Look where they are in relation to their first fight. Dustin has not given up as much ground. Conor had a much harder time pushing Dustin back in this one, and it's things like Dustin moving forward here and committing to his strikes, trading in the center of the octagon. So he didn't let Conor pressure. They're in the center. It's giving him space. This is straight after that left hand. He points at him because he knows he caught him with it in that first exchange, really. This is only the second strike Dustin's really landed. Conor resets and Dustin zips back in with the jab. Conor throws this. Could have been a body kick. Could have morphed into a knee. Doesn't work out. But Dustin here steps back through, catches the back leg, and throws another left hand right down the middle. Head off the center line again for him. Doesn't really make that much of a difference in this situation, but catches the leg, already made an adjustment, and then bam, beautiful left straight right down the middle once again from Poirier. And you can even call the third key to victory right here, which is Dustin moving forward to negate defensive head movement of Conor. By crowding him, he's really not giving Conor that time and that space to execute the head movements and counters, and typically when Conor's going backwards, he ends up shelling or just having to retreat in a straight line towards the cage. Now, fair play to Conor here, because with a single leg and most shots against the cage, you want to keep your head on the inside of your opponent to avoid the guillotine. So you don't want your head here when shooting a takedown. You want to tuck it in tight into the chest. his head's on the outside, so Conor's working that guillotine, as you should, but maybe not at this level against someone as good as Poirier, and maybe seeing as Conor has not really got any submission wins in MMA, maybe it's not the best idea, but we'll break this down anyway. Dustin's got his hands locked together when trying to complete this single leg. He wants to lift that leg up, trap it between his legs, pull and turn out to the side. Conor knows this, so he's fighting for wrist control with his left hand, reaches down and grabs onto it, and Dustin's already tried to turn the angle so he can build some momentum to step back on the inside, takes his right foot in between the legs of Conor and will elevate him right here to take him off the cage and try and complete this takedown. Now Conor's still holding on to this guillotine here, even though Dustin's postured all the way up, but this actually gives Conor the moment to go from wrist control, and as Dustin comes up, to link those hands together. So you'll see as Dustin pulls his head down, Conor has the hands together now and wants to fully commit to that guillotine. So Conor's going to take himself to the right hand side, try and sit back, get his legs around Dustin so he can get full guard and have a much better position to finish that guillotine. But watch the right leg of Dustin right here, recognizes it, lifts it up, over to the outside, and right here you'll see his right leg is outside Conor's left leg. He's effectively moved into a half guard position before they even hit the mat here. So that's just great awareness from Dustin. You'll see here, he's trying to effectively get side control. He's past both the legs of Conor. That left leg is still in there a little bit. Conor trying to retain guard, but Dustin, if that cage wasn't there, he would have side control right now, but that cage is keeping Conor in this position. And so Dustin takes his right leg, puts it on the mat, pushes forward here to elevate Conor a little bit more, and then you'll see him return. But what he's actually doing, which we can't see, is he's taking his right arm and shoving it through here to grab the left bicep of Conor. Dustin's right hand has fired through and he's got bicep control on Conor's left arm there. And because he has this, he's able to push that hand away and stop the guillotine effectively. Conor's still got the neck, but keeps control of it, hangs on, and his head just pops out. So there we go. So here is the injury. John Kavanagh went on record saying it was this strike here that Dustin blocks that caused it. I'm not convinced here. Conor throws that snap teep to the body and it lands here on the toes beautifully. Poirier's got his right hand up, gonna parry away and sweep, but John Kavanagh here says that it's this right elbow that causes the injury. But you can definitely catch elbows when you're throwing a front kick and they can jam your toes and they can really hurt. But right here, the teep lands to the body, and unless he caught the elbow on the way in or Dustin really pulled it across at the right time, I just don't know that this could have caused the injury. Again, this is what Kavanagh says, but from the footage, I'm not convinced by this. He returns his left foot to the mat flat, and it looks kind of okay here. There's no immediate damage. He steps back, switches back to southpaw here, and there's no instability on that ankle. And so here you can see the injury where I think it happened, maybe from that microfracture, maybe from earlier damage here. He double jabs his way in and throws that straight left, something that Conor loves to do, steps in for the jab, and watch the back left foot as he plants and uses and turns and torques it. Right there, you'll see the left leg just pop out right by the ankle right there as he steps through and uses it to plant. Right there, already twisted. You can tell the damage is already done as he steps through and torques. Right there, it's just getting us to slowly breaking down more and more. And he throws the left again. Dustin head off the center line, another key to victory. Didn't throw the hook this time. If he had done, he might have KO'd McGregor right here, but the torque from the left foot as he planted it right there just gave way as he based out on it. And then you'll see as he steps back, it rolls underneath him. And yeah, that's the injury, and that's all she wrote, folks. Okay, well, there you have it. It could have been one of those 6 leg kicks at the start, especially the first 2 that caused the injury. Maybe it was a pre-existing injury. We know Conor's had injuries with that left leg before, right? He injured it in the Max Holloway fight. Granted, it was the knee. He injured it in the Nate Diaz rematch. He had his foot was a balloon. Remember that one? It's all on that left foot, so you wonder how much damage it's taken over the years. And of course, there is a case if he's drilling leg kicks the entire camp, he's weakening that part of his body anyway, but nonetheless, Dustin Poirier gets it done. In my opinion, you know, Conor landed a few kicks at the start of the fight, but Dustin was getting the better of the exchanges. As soon as he realized, you know, he can take that shot of Conor and started moving forward and trading those left hands, he was winning those exchanges and probably would have gone on to win the entire fight. Of course, this isn't the conclusion anybody wanted, but that's the way the sport goes sometimes. And unfortunately for Conor, a big injury like that, he might be out for upwards of a year, maybe more. Will he retire? I don't know, but Dustin Poirier is certainly destined for big things and a title shot against Charles Oliveira. So thank you for watching the breakdown. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought in the comments and what your opinions are on the break, and I will see you in the next one.